Hi guys, happy group life. So I miss you guys. So I'm gonna tell you guys what's going in SM today while we go on an adventure with me for my morning Diet Coke. Let's go. Alright guys, we're here. Give me a minute so that I can order my Diet Coke and I'll tell you what's going on. Can I have a large Diet Coke, please?
Yes. Is that going to be all for you today?
Yep, I'll do it.
Alright, so it's going to be 110. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Alright guys, so today we have another fantastic group life video for you guys. We're going to do a game with a special guest from our ministry. We're going to have some worship and we're going to have an awesome message from James about how we can trust and feel stable in Jesus. So, it's going to be a pretty good night, especially if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety lately. I feel pretty positive that this will be a good night for you. Thanks, you too. Also, if you guys haven't been doing this, every Sunday we're having these really cool Zoom meetings for both middle school and high school. So you would definitely want to come because you get to see our faces, we get to talk, we get to connect with you. If you don't know how to get there, in our Instagram profile, just go to our link there and then you can click and then either MSM or HSM video and you can hang out with us this Sunday. So you should for sure do that. If you don't have Instagram, just email us, have your parents email us, and we'll get you the link anyway. Diet Coke time. Hi.
You have Vegas today?
Nope, just a large Diet Coke. GG's my friend.
Alright, man.
Thanks, I will be through later. You too, bye.
Well, good evening, you guys. Welcome to my favorite part of group life. It's game time, and I've invited my friend, our good friend, Max Missile. He's going to be helping out. Max, are you so excited for quarantine edition of Sit Down If?
Yes, such a fun game. Love playing it at Grouplife.
It's so good. So here's our rules is everyone's going to stand up on their Zoom in their small groups right now. And then Max and I are going to run through these sit down ifs. And if you've done it, you sit down. So there's some good ones and major props if anyone's still standing by the end of it. So here is our first one. Max, what is it?
Sit down if you have learned a TikTok dance.
Uh-oh, any TikTok dances on your end?
Nope, I am TikTok free. Only watch them.
Same. That's why we're good friends. All right, if you're still standing, sit down if your family's made banana bread. Max, any banana bread making in the Missile home?
No, only my mom makes the banana bread. You make banana bread, Jody?
I haven't, but I have a peanut butter bread recipe I'm making this week.
Ooh, sounds good.
I'll let you know how it goes. All right, what's next? Sit down if you did an Instagram Ask Me. So if you've done an Ask Me Anything or an Ask Me Something on Instagram, go ahead, sit down. Max, have you done that yet?
No, I'm not on Instagram a whole lot, but I did do one on Snapchat, so if
The
that counts, I
Snapchat
gotta sit
user.
down. Yeah,
So
have
good.
you done an Ask Me?
I did it on our SM account yesterday. It was my first one I've ever done. So yeah, I'd be out of here. So what's our next one, Max? Sit down if.
Sit down if you have talked to your dog like a human. I have to sit down.
What kind of conversations do you have with your dog?
Well, it's just about homework mostly,
Homework?
time management, and the struggle it is.
Oh my gosh, such a good companion. All right, if you've talked to your dog like a human, go ahead and sit down. And also, go ahead and sit down if you went 3 full days without showering. Max, are you still in?
No,
No.
I sit down for this one too.
I think I've only maxed out at 2 days without a shower, but I'm on day 8 of dirty hair, trying to make it to day 15 again. So, I'm pretty dirty still. We'll see. All right, so you dirty kids, 3 days without showering, sit down, and also sit down if
You did a puzzle. I personally have not done a puzzle yet, and I don't plan on doing one one anytime soon. What about you, Jody?
I love them. I've done 2. My grandmother mailed me 5, and I've done 2 of the 5. So good. Puzzlers out there, sit down. And, I'm for sure standing up for this one. Sit down if you started and completed a video game. All you gamers out there, Max, what's been your favorite video game?
I've played a lot of Battlefront 2 with my good friends. That was a lot of fun, but I haven't completed it.
That's so great. I don't even know what Battlefront 2 is because I'm still reliving my Mario days back in the day. So good. If you completed a video game, congrats, figure out. Sit down. What's next? Sit down
if you didn't go outside for 2 full days.
We had a spurt of that hard rain a couple weeks ago, so if you've been homebody staying inside. Max, would you be out for that one?
Yeah, I think I've still been outside in the rain a couple times.
Yeah, I went for a walk in the rain. It's just good to get outside, you know?
Yeah.
All right, but if you didn't, sit down. Ooh, sit down if you've slept in past noon. Max, what's the latest you've slept in this quarantine time?
Oh, pretty close. It's about 11:40 or so.
11:40? Oh,
yeah.
So good, but you're still in for that one, so it's great.
I know.
All right, do we have one more? Sit down if you've been grounded. During quarantine, I feel like we're all grounded during quarantine.
Yeah.
What does it look like if you've been grounded during quarantine? You need to share that with your small group when this game is over, because that, I have a feeling, is a good story. So, have you or Maggie gotten grounded or anything during quarantine?
No, I don't.
No extra
understand how that
troublemaking
would
of
be
mental
possible.
So good. Awesome. Do we have? Oh, we do have another one. If you had a concert canceled. Oh, Max, I interrupted you. But did you have a concert canceled during this time?
No, I don't do a lot of concerts. I'd rather just listen to music for free.
Yes, same. Same. So, no concerts canceled for me, but if you did, I'm so sorry, and also sit down. Oh!
Guilty.
Have you cut your own hair? Sit down if you have. Max, do you have a hair cutting story?
Well, I just tried to give it a little trim, but then I tried to trim the back, and I messed it up.
You did?
Yeah.
But how long ago was that? Has it already grown back?
Yeah, it's all fixed by now, luckily.
Oh my gosh, so good. Are you so excited about getting a real haircut someday?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got good hair.
Pretty long.
So, just embrace it. It's great. All right. Sit down if you've lost a board game. Any board games at your house?
Nope.
Just video games?
Board games so far. Yeah, just video
if
games.
If you've lost a board game, maybe you could also no, we won't include other things. Just sit down if you've lost a family board game. And last one, Max, it's all you.
Sit down if you've watched a Marvel movie.
Whoa, a Marvel movie. Have you watched any Marvel movies?
No.
No.
Lots of Star Wars and lots of Disney movies.
Yes, so good. I don't know that I've watched a movie during quarantine, honestly. I'm not a big movie watcher. I think I watched one before, but that was 278 days ago. I think that's the last one. It is. So, anyways, you guys, it's been so fun playing with you. Max.
So much fun.
Thanks for leading us. Hey, you guys have a great time in your small groups tonight, and we're gonna go hear a message next. Or actually, I think we're gonna have some worship time. So anyways, it was fun playing a game. Whatever's next. Bye, Max. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Jody. Bye.
Hey, SM. We're going to worship together now, and we're going to start out with one of my favorite songs that we do, at Student Ministries, Glorious Day. And I love this song because I have such great memories of it at camp. But I also love it because I love the message. I think it's so hope-filled. It reminds me who Jesus is and what he has done. And I think that when we're going through what we're going through now, I think it's so important to just remember that Jesus has already won the victory. He is already this glorious one who has saved us. So I hope that singing this together gives you some hope today. Was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my tomb till I met you. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb till I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Now your freedom, now your freedom is all that I know. The old me knew Jesus when I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed rescue, my sin is heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing, now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. worship you. Worship you. 'Cause we love you and we'll never stop. Can't live without you, Jesus. We love you. We can't get enough. All this is for you, Jesus. Jesus. Oh, we're here for you. 'Cause when you walk into the room, sickness starts to vanish. Every hopeless situation ceases to exist. And when you walk into the room, the dead begin to rise. 'Cause there is resurrection life in all you do. 'Cause we love you and we'll never stop. Can't live without you, Jesus. We love you. We can't get enough. All this is for you, Jesus. We love you. We'll never stop. We can't live without you, Jesus. We love you. We can't get enough. All this is for you, Jesus. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. 'Cause we love you. We'll never stop. We can't live without you, Jesus. We love you. We can't get enough. All this is for you, Jesus.
I'm like, calm down, you're fine. And then you just keep saying that faster and faster.
I should not be this worried about it.
It gave me a lot of anxiety not knowing like what to even do in high school.
Stress is a normal part of life when we are under pressure in new and demanding circumstances. That's a good thing because it helps us adapt when it matters most. There are many reasons why we may feel a little bit of anxiety in today's world. Anxiety is one of the emotions that doesn't feel great, like sadness or anger or fear. Anxiety is unpleasant, but it plays an important role in our lives. We are going to feel anxiety from time to time in our lives, but we don't have to feel anxious about feeling anxious. Everyone experiences anxiety.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I do feel anxious.
I'm anxious all the time.
I think just the overall pressure to do very well in a lot of different categories.
Homework.
For AP classes, for honors and all that.
once that test comes in front of me, everything blanks and I'm like, oh gosh.
Reading out loud in class.
Getting ready for college.
Did you get in? Have you sent the things? And
accumulates, it's just stress. These relationships can cause a lot of anxiety.
Making friends.
Relationships with parents.
Social media, I blame myself too. We put the best parts of ourselves on social media. And if you spend like a lot of time like looking at that and kind of indoctrinating yourself that that's like how life is, then you kind of blame yourself for a lot of the bad things that happen.
Well, like a lot of people were very competitive with each other.
You want to have this certain body or you want to have this certain amount of money.
Growing up, I definitely didn't have a lot of the things that I wanted, like the things that I wore or even like school supplies.
I was like up all night trying to think, is this the right thing to wear? Like, what do freshmen wear?
I had like a ton of acne on my face, and I felt like nobody else did in my school and especially in my friend group. I felt like that's all that people were looking at.
I just have really racing thoughts. My thoughts just move really quickly to like all the different fears.
And a lot of times it's not even something that would happen. It's just your anxious brain just coming up with scenarios.
It's like everything's closing in on you and like you can't do anything, like you're worried about what's gonna happen.
If anyone talks to me, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. I just focus on like what I'm anxious about and I can't think about anything else.
Sometimes it can affect your physical body. You can have a hard time breathing.
You're like breathing, I guess. Like it kind of like bottles up and it freaks you out.
I just can't breathe. I can't get a full breath in.
Sometimes it's like my chest is tight. Other times it's like I'm burning a hole in my stomach.
If you feel like you're on a roller coaster and it's like right when you're at the very, very top and you feel like your stomach is like up in your chest and you're like about to fall.
Having 1,000 cups of coffee in your body, which you can imagine is a little much.
A little more sweaty than usual. You don't want anyone to notice and you kind of just think that everyone's looking at you and you're a weirdo and no one's gonna like you because you're freaking out.
That's kind of what it feels like, at least for me.
It's really hard to explain.
I, for a long time, felt like I was the only one who felt that way. And when I started talking to my friends about it, they were like, oh, I actually feel the same way.
Like, a lot of people deal with that problem.
I mean, I know, at least with me and my friends, we would all experience it, and we'd just talk about it a little bit, like what's going on, like what we're worried about.
Saying what is making me anxious already feels better. Just put it out there. Just use what words you can, and you guys can just start talking about it. Because if you keep it inside, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it gets bigger and bigger. But again, if you say it out loud, it's not as scary.
A lot of people go through it. As cheesy as it sounds, you're not alone. A lot of people have anxiety.
Hi friends, I'm really excited that we get to begin this conversation, Faith in an Anxious World. This is gonna be the first of a 4-week series, and what is so good about this conversation we're gonna be able to have is we're gonna have a good time in our small groups to really talk about the things that are going on underneath the surface. And maybe this will be a little bit harder conversation for some of you, but I think it's gonna be really, really helpful for us to be able to be on the same page together, to understand where each other are at when we're having conversations about anxiety. I know that I am someone that has dealt with these feelings of not in my chest and not exactly sure what to do, and that being prolonged and me being concerned about that, and that was some anxiety. But not all anxiety is weighing you down. Sometimes it's just like that feeling you get when you get really close to a really high cliff or the edge of a really tall building. That anxiety is just something that kind of knots up in your chest, and you want to that helps you move forward in your life towards something new. And so this is the type of anxiety we're talking about. We're talking about both kinds and how God can be speaking to us through our anxiety and how God can be with us in our anxiety. I know that right now, as we're thinking about the world, a lot of the thoughts we're having is, where is God? What is God doing? Why are these things so different than they were just in February? And so this is a lot of where our conversations are, but I want to give us hope, because I think that we're gonna learn some ways to think about our anxiety, and we're gonna learn some ways to deal with it in this world, because we are the light of the world, and Jesus is working inside of us to make our world a better place. And so I'm really excited about this conversation. So where we're going to start this conversation is a time when Jesus's followers in the Bible were feeling a ton of anxiety. It's like so much anxiety. They thought they were going to die, and they thought they were going to drown, which is not like a happy thing. This is not a happy conversation. But what is amazing about this is how Jesus responds so differently than how they do. And so you can see it on your screen, or you can open your Bibles, you can make a note of it. It's going to be Mark 4, verse 35 through 42. And this is what it says. That day, when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's go over to the other side of the lake." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There was other boats with him. A furious squall, that's a storm, a furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him?" Now, the way that Jesus reacts to this story is so different than the way Jesus' followers react to this story. And this is something that we can totally learn from. The disciples are in this place of feeling anxious. They're feeling afraid, scared. They're afraid of Jesus even. They're so worried about their lives and what's going on and what's going to happen. And they're asking this question, "God, do you even care about me?" And Jesus responds completely different. He responds by sleeping. He responds by being calm. He responds by being powerful. And for us, this can be pretty challenging if we're trying to be like Jesus. But you and I, we're also followers of Jesus, so we act a lot like the disciples do, where we are fearful, we're afraid, we're scared. And Jesus is there for us, and he's there for them. In this story, Jesus is calm, but he is present with them. He does not leave them. He does not just send them across the water and then they drown or anything like that. He is just with them, and he's totally calm and peaceful. I think that this is really helpful for us, because we always have things that we get kind of anxious about that are happening in our lives. And so I want us to start writing those down. Maybe you can put on a sheet of paper or on your journal or on your phone, you can write down, starting to make a list of things that you might be getting anxious over in this season. If it's friendships, if it's a lack of sports, if it's a change of plans, if it is family things. I know that all of these things have an ability to weigh on us and cause us not to sleep right and give us a tight feeling in our stomach. And these are the things that we're gonna write down, and I think that we're gonna deal with them later. But while you're writing this list, I'll just show you a little portrayal about how I feel anxiety sometimes. No!
You're not gonna get off that easy.
I said I didn't do it. What do you not believe? I said, I don't know the man. I don't even know him. Now, thank you for watching that. I know that anxiety isn't always the easiest thing to encounter, but it's something that we all experience. So maybe you felt just like that in the past. What's funny, though, is that Jesus' reaction is so different than the anxious reaction, and this might have been what he was dreaming about when he was sleeping. So check this out. Yeah. Now we can't know if Jesus, how Jesus dreamt, or if there were sheep jumping over a fence, but we do know that Jesus was really calm. And I think that he was doing some of these things, and these are the things that we can learn from as we are followers of him. And that is 3 things when we're trying to deal with anxiety. The first is to look up. So you might want to note that down, look up. The next one is to look inside, and the third is to look around. So looking up is when we look at God for direction, we look at God for his hope. We can look into the Bible and see these amazing stories. Maybe you want to look at Mark 4 again to see how powerful and how good God is. And then you can also, after you've looked up and you've seen how good God is, maybe if that hasn't worked for you, maybe you can text a small group leader, or you can listen to worship music to see and hear them truths about who God is. And then the next step is to look inside, and that is to take those truths that you just learned about God and you put them inside, and you're like, how does this God's powerfulness, how does God's presence help make my anxiety a little bit lighter? And then the third step is to be a light to the people around us. Maybe it's to share that we're feeling anxious. Maybe that's to be honest and open up in conversation, or maybe it's to share a little piece of hope of something that you learned about how good God is, and you can look around and see how you can make this anxious world a little bit more peaceful. Friends, that is what we're going to do in our small group. We're actually going to take those things that we've listed out, those things that we're feeling anxious about, and we're going to talk about them in our small group. And as we talk about them, let's do these things where we look up, we look inside, and we look around, and we start having this conversation about what anxiety is. I'm so excited that we get to continue this conversation because I know it will be really healing for all of us. Friends, take care and enjoy your conversations.
Well guys, thanks for watching. I loved what James talked about how in these crazy times, in the times of COVID, when everything's kind of up in the air, we do have this stability in Jesus, and we do have this place of comfort and reliability that we can have in our day-to-day lives, even when everything else is crazy. So the question again is how do you need to rely on Jesus this week? Discuss that with your small group, discuss that with your friends and your family, and as always, let us know how we can pray for you and care for you. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Cheers.